Not only will this tax plan pay for itself, but it will pay down debt.
We're right there in the sweet spot with economic growth that gives us more revenue. We're where we need to be.
I'm confident this is not only revenue neutral to the government, but actually is very likely to be a revenue producer.
Time for Money, Power, Politics. And today we're going to take a closer look at the soaring U.S. deficit, falling revenues thanks to GOP tax cuts and increased spending that is pushing the country deeper into debt. The federal budget deficit increased by $113 billion during fiscal year 2018, a 17% increase over 2017, bringing the deficit to $779 billion. What does that mean? And do people care? And if they don't, should they? Joining me now, policy advisor with America First Policies and former CEO of CKE Restaurants, Andrew Puzder, and Senator Torricelli back with me. Bob, you've been hot to talk about, you know what? Andy just got here. I'm going to let Andy go first. Okay. He's been here for a while.
Fair enough.
We know that the deficit has gone up. Republicans are in power. We're not at war. How is it that we can have increased spending and tax cuts at the same time?
Well, I think the benefits of compared to last year, revenue was basically flat. It was up a little, but it was basically flat. It wasn't down, despite the tax cuts. It didn't meet former projections, but it did exceed last year's revenue. The problem with tax cuts and the benefit of tax cuts is you immediately experience the detriment, in other words, lower tax revenue, unless you have spectacular economic growth. We had very, very good economic growth, so it kept the revenue flat. With economic growth doesn't occur immediately upon the tax cuts. For example, in the industry I was in, the restaurant industry, when you get a tax cut, you get benefits, you want to grow. It might take you it takes you time to find the property you want to develop. It takes you time to get your zoning. It takes you time to find a contractor who can build it. You then have to build the restaurant. You have to hire people. That can be a 2-year process. So when it comes to businesses investing, you're not going to see that in the first 6, 9, 10 months. You're going to see that over a period of a couple of years. So I think we're going to see higher revenues going forward. I was glad revenues weren't down from last year. And spending went way up with the agreement that the president cut. We have a divided government. The president cut a deal with the Democrats where he increased military spending to make the capital investment in the military that we needed to make because we hadn't been making it. And to get the votes of the Democrats in the Senate, he conceded on some domestic spending.
So even with Republicans with total control, we're still going to blame the Democrats for the spending?
There's still a filibuster. There's not total control.
Senator?
To put this in perspective, the country's headed for a 100% of GDP level of debt, $1 trillion a year. The last time the United States had that level of debt to GDP, we were completing the Manhattan Project, invading Normandy and invading Okinawa, getting ready to invade Japan. We are now to 100% of GDP headed there in peace, relative peace, and times of prosperity. It is completely irresponsible. We are borrowing from the American future. We've become a nation that is not, a generation that cannot be trusted to protect the American future because we're addicted to our own consumption.
Andy, in general, people, everyday people, don't care about the deficit because it seems...
Well, they should.
They should, because it seems obscure. But the exact argument that the senator is making is the argument that we've heard for decades from Republicans, but they're not making it now. Why?
Well, they should be making it. We need two things. One is we need economic growth to increase revenues, and we need to reduce our spending. We're spending way too much. And I don't think there's enough waste in the discretionary budget. We need to look at the mandatory portion of the budget, the entitlements portion, to see what we can do rationally to reduce spending. Newt Gingrich and President Clinton did that with welfare. I mean, there are things you can do that don't reduce benefits, but do reduce spending. And we have to address that issue. It's the third rail of politics.
We're really going to go with this Mitch McConnell argument. Let's cut corporate taxes in half, and now let's go after entitlements. Like, that's the answer?
This is like a slow pitch over the plate. You could see this coming for the last 2 years. They come up with a massive tax cut, which disproportionately goes to corporate America and the upper 1% of the American people, and then argue the only way to solve it is Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. No. This is not a spending problem. It is a revenue problem. We cut taxes during a period of economic growth, and we did not share it with all of the American people. That's how we got here, and that's the only way we're going to get out of it is reversing it.
Hey, look, corporate taxes were down $92 billion, but individual taxes were up $96 billion, even with the tax cuts. And even if revenue had been what it was projected to be, we would still have huge deficits. The only way we're going to get increased revenue is through economic growth. You're not going to get it the first year after tax cuts because you have to give businesses time to invest. Let's see what revenues are next year. But no matter who's right, we still have to cut spending.
I agree. We're in such a hole. Ultimately, the only way to get out of this is to grow out of it. Here's the problem.
Yes.
Let me share with the company. Well, I once asked Bob Rubin when he was Secretary of the Treasury in the hearing, what's the appropriate level of American debt? And he said, I can't answer that. I said, why not? He says, because if we're $500 billion in debt and we've produced a modern railroad system, we're educating American kids and graduating them without debt, we're fully funding American science labs, we have a modern infrastructure and internet available to all the American people, that's a good debt. The problem with America is we're going $1 trillion in debt. We don't have a good educational system that's being paid for. We don't have a modern infrastructure. We're not modernizing our science labs. What we're getting for it is a tax cut to privileged Americans. Nothing.
Andy, your last point, if the key to everything is growth, the fact that we're in a possible trade war with China, and you hear from people like Christine Lagarde saying we're seeing global growth slow because of trade issues, doesn't that give you concern?
Well, let me say, first of all, we do need to reduce the debt, but the first leg of that is to reduce the deficit. And you can only reduce that by increasing revenues, reducing spending. You got to do both. You can't just do one.
And we're doing neither
And we need to do both. That's exactly right. The idea of the tax cuts is that they will increase revenue, but I don't think anybody expected they'd increase revenue in the first 6 to 9 months, and that's where we are.
Of course, the problem is
we need to give them.
That's never happened. We've tried that. We tried it in the Reagan years. We tried it in the Bush years. Now we tried it in the Trump years. We tried it. When do we learn that doesn't work?
All right,
revenues went up in the Reagan years. They went up after Clinton cut capital gains taxes. They went up after George W. Bush lowered taxes. The deficit goes up because we spend more than we increase revenue. If spending always increases more than revenue, the debt will never go down.
We are out of time, gentlemen. We know that the corporate tax cuts did one thing, increase the valuations on stocks. And remember, the stock market is different from the economy.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.